Hi everyone and welcome to today's webinar. Thank you all for staying tuned even though we started a bit later than usual. All right, so today's topic will be about introduction to Avramis River. So just to check if you guys can hear me and see my screen, please drop a number 1 in the questions tab. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, David. Thank you, IK. Okay, so let's get started. Let me prepare my charts on the side. Okay. All right, so in this webinar, you will learn the Avramis River Indicator and how you can use it for trend identification. And lastly, how to outline the areas of support and resistance. So the Avramis River is a visual identification tool that can offer more information regarding market sentiment and clarity of price trend. So as a trend following device, it can be used to scan through market to spot trending opportunities or warn of ranging conditions. If you guys have any questions, I will just open the tab on the side. So you can feel free to ask anytime. I'll just take a look. Okay, some people are just coming in. Okay, so it provides context to the price action and reflects support and resistance zones that can be used for trend following. So the river can be used in combination with other technical tools and techniques for execution purposes. So for example, like our RSI, stochastics, and also candlestick patterns for execution. So this is the design of Avramis River. It has 3 different parameters, but is interpreted as one single indicator. So we have the blue river, which is the anchor of the trend. So the blue river is what we use to determine the main trend. And then we have the brown river, which is a volatility filter. So the brown river surrounds the blue and is used as an extra filter to warn us of increased volatility. And lastly, we have the gold river, which is the delayed river. So this gold river is used as confirmation regarding a change in trend and will assist us in better understanding for the clarity of the trend. All right, so how do we interpret it? So all these rivers are based on various moving average combined with volatility. So while comparing price action with Avramis River, we can use the same technical concept we use with moving averages. So this is sort of like a thicker version of the moving average that we used to use. I can't seem to turn on my pen, so I'll just use a laser point then, like this. Instead of line, we have area. Okay, so comparing, we can use it to compare the price action relative to the river. So we have crossover of the rivers to tell you when a trend is changing. We have the slopes of the river, and what I mean by slope is the direction. So for example, these 2 rivers right now are heading upwards. So it's showing you an upwards trend. And when the river crosses over the goal, which is the slower one, crosses over the fast one, it means that the trend has changed from downtrend to uptrend. So you can also use this to determine the volatility with the speed, with the distance between the river. So if the blue and brown is further away from the goal, it means that there's more volatility. And lastly, all these rivers are the possible support and resistance levels where you can put your stop losses. So in a strong uptrend, we expect to see the following. First, price will be above the blue river. And then the blue river will be above the golden river. So this is a strong upwards slope, which determines an uptrend, strong uptrend. Okay, so in a downtrend, we expect to see price underneath the river, the blue one, and the blue river will be underneath the golden. And when the slope is downwards and far away from the golden, as in the blue is far from the golden, it's signifying a strong downtrend. Okay, so what happens when the market is in a sideways range? So the river can also tell us towards a sideways market where you see prices crossing above and below the river, chopping around, and then the blue and the gold are also chopping around each other. So this is what we call the flat sloping river. So there's no clear direction. So this is how you avoid a trade. So you can say that these rivers are also trend indicator. It works best when market is trending, and you can avoid trading when it's moving sideways. Okay, so in a weak trend, when market is making lower tops and lower bottoms, although price is descending, it suggests a downtrend. The weakness of the strength of the trend can be identified by using the river. So if you see, our gold and our blue are just crossing each other. Even though it's a downtrend, there's not much space between the blue and the gold. So it's a weak downtrend. This is what we call the rivers mixing between each other. And the prices are also not remaining right underneath the river. Okay. Not remaining completely below the blue river. Okay, next. And for reversals, other than just trend identification, the river can tell us about reversal. So you can see when the existing trend is weakening and you see our gold crossing over the blue, when the price starts to cross above the blue river, it indicates a reversal. And when it's inside, it's weakness. So after the downtrend has successfully closed above the blue river, this is the first identification of the uptrend bullish reversal. So further confirmation can be given after the blue crosses the gold, which is right here. So as a new trend starts to accelerate, like this, you can see a gap between them. So this area itself is called the white river. So as long as there's white river in between, this signifies the strength of the trend. All right, so for bearish reversal, following a bullish trend in the market, when price starts to trade inside the river, it is the first sign that the existing trend is weakening. So a successful close below the blue river is the first indication towards a possible trend reversal. So if this is accompanied by the reversal in price, it makes the signal more reliable. And then further confirmation is given after the blue crosses the gold river. And in here, we also have our white river in the middle, which signifies the strength of the trend. Okay, so next, I have a question from David. So where can we find this Avramis river? Okay, let me check. Just now I was finding it. So there's this link. I'm gonna show you this website. So you can download it. In MT5 it's not stated here, but in MT4 this is how it looks like. I'm gonna check if you guys can see my screen. Okay, good. Ta-da! So you cannot use this indicator in XM without registering with our broker. Okay. All right. So I think we can try just searching MT5 Avramis river. So later I'm going to show examples in the trading view. Okay. Oh, I see. It's not available in MT5. Maybe you can try emailing your respective support and see if they can maybe come up with a version for MT5. Okay, so the white river can also be used as a warning to the first corrective wave. So if you see this white river between price and our blue river, this is a sign of corrective wave. It means like the price is moving so fast, it needs to come back and rebalance itself. So in the new trend, it also signals an overbought and oversold state. So in other words, at the first time where it appeared, this white river, it may not be the best time to enter the market, but to rather wait for this little pullback here, and then we can enter at a better price. So for example, if this is a upward trend, we can buy it at a cheaper, lower price. So this corrective wave usually just pulls itself back into the blue river before continuing. But if the price starts to close underneath the blue river, it may be another sign of trend reversal. Ta-da! So every time you see there's this white space, price comes back down, you can buy at a better pricing, up, down, up, down. So this river in between the gold and the blue signifies strength, whereas this river between the price and the blue signifies overbought, oversold. So usually how you can, let me see if it's mentioned. Oh, okay, yeah. Right now we're going to be talking about support. In an uptrend, you use your support as your stop loss. Okay, so in the same way, it acts like moving average where it can provide your visual support and resistance zone. So the blue river can be used for rebounding techniques during an ongoing trend. So let's say if you saw the market going up really well, and then you're missing out on all this uptrend because you missed the initial entry, don't worry, you can use this blue river as your rebound. Okay, so the upper line and lower area boundaries, okay, we call these boundaries, upper and lower boundaries of the blue river outlines the area that acts as a support. So the entire support level is around here. And if you want to be very safe, you can just put your stop loss underneath on the lower boundary of the blue river during an uptrend. You can put it here, here, here. So here we have correction from a strong uptrend can often find support inside the blue river. So it can be anywhere along the river. Okay, and then for resistance, in a similar way, the upper and lower boundaries of the blue river outlines an area of resistance. So this time, if you want to be very safe, you can put your stop loss on the upper boundary. So correction can often find themselves inside the blue river. Okay, so lastly, for conclusion, Avramis river are to be used as a visual tool to help traders better understand the clarity of the trend. So using the river, we can quickly scan through many instruments in order for us to see which trend is clearer than other. So it is critical to combine it with other technical tools to help traders in execution of trades. So now let's go into our charts. I am going to remake a version of this Avramis river. Let me just open up a new chart layout. New chart layout. If there's any questions, please put them in the questions tab. All right, so I'm gonna be using this chart. So firstly, we have Aussie USD. So now I'm gonna open up 3 indicators of moving average exponential. Then I'm gonna make them into our reverse. So the first one, the blue, which is closest to price, I'm gonna make it 20. And then the second, I will use it as the brown because of the volatility. I'll use this brown and I'll put it as 50. And I think I'll make it thicker as well. Okay, and then the blue will be the river. And lastly, we will have one more golden one. And this will be 100, the slowest. Okay, so you can see when price and the rivers are just chopping around each other, we do not enter any trade. So I'm just going to use the replay tool. All right. So for example, here you can see that our blue river is the one closest to price. And this background here is the white river. So the more it is away from the blue, the more it's in overbought and oversold area. I think I can adjust this to maybe something a bit more sensitive, like this. Okay, and then I think my volatility, I'll also make it a bit more sensitive. Okay, but right now the price is not, we need to make sure that the price is bouncing away from our blue river. So settings, I'll just put it back. Okay, there we go. So all this will act as a support area for our price. So the moment it comes back down here, you can actually just take your profits right at the bottom. So for example, where would be a good entry? From this area is right when all three EMAs are in the same direction with slope. And if you can enter here, would be best. And then you can put your stop loss underneath it. So I'll make this red. Stop loss. Buy entry. But if you miss this entry, you can always come back in when they close up the white river gap and start pushing away from the river again. And then this time you can move your stop loss to underneath. Okay, so every time it moves, you can just follow your stop loss along the brown line until this area where you got stopped out. So just using this indicator, it's already a good strategy for entry and exits. So from here to here, it's 146. That's not too bad. Okay, so let's move on to more recent price. Okay, so you see as price comes back chopping around the river, we have a very weak uptrend. So even though the candles, as in even though the blue river is above the golden, it's very close together and price is just opening and closing around it. So let me continue playing. Okay, so we first see our blue river coming close to the golden. and then it closed beneath it. So right now with all this area in the middle, it's all the white river that shows us is not a very good entry. So we wait. We might have missed this trend because right now it's very news driven. Oh, finally it tapped on the blue river. But right now it's already very far. So you see this strong trend and you have a stop loss of 116. So that is not exactly the ideal condition, but yeah, hopefully you didn't get in because you just got stopped out. I think right now, okay, it's going through consolidation again, where price is just chopping around them. Okay, so now we need to make sure that all three rivers are aligned. So right now, when you see the gold and then the brown and then the blue and price underneath it, that is a downtrend. But in this area right here, would you enter the market on a buy? Because you see the blue is above the gold and the price is above the blue and the gold. Would you enter this buy? Type in the questions tab, yes or no. Yes, we have one yes. What about the rest of you guys? Yes or no? Okay, someone is asking for the settings of this. I'm going to show you again. We have 20 as the fastest, the blue one. We have 50 for the brown one. And lastly, 100 for the golden. But anyway, all these indicators are very flexible, so you can just edit it. Or you can just go on to MT4 and download the Avramis river. Thank you. Okay, so we have yeses. Okay, so the answer is no, because we have to wait for this brown river to catch up with the blue and the golden to be underneath it before we take a buy entry. So this is how it should be. Okay, let me erase all of that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, because it has to, rebalance itself and let the brown one catch up. Okay, so here we have another downtrend again. Consolidation, back to tap it. So this would have been a good sell entry over here. And your stop loss, you can put it just above, which is at the golden river. Stop loss. Okay, so if I keep playing, buy entry, now it's coming close. And if you move your stop loss to where the golden is, you would have been stopped out. Let's see. Which is good because market went back to consolidation. Okay, so let's try this indicator again with another pair that is hopefully less sideways trending. GJ. Let's find GJ in a good time. Okay, beautiful. So now if I play back, about here. Okay, so you see price chopping around our indicator. And then it starts moving away, coming back to tap it, moving away, tapping it, and uptrend. So now that it closed right at our brown, it signifies a change in trend. So if I continue playing it, let's see, we have to wait for our blue to cross over both of the brown and yellow, as well as the brown to cross underneath our gold. So right here is where all three rivers are aligned, and this signifies a downtrend. However, there's a lot of space between price and the blue river right now, so we don't take action. So you have to mix it in with other indicators, because right now I'm just showing you with the river. So right now when it taps to the blue river, you can consider a sell. So sell here, stop loss here. Now you just move the stop loss according to where price is. And my formula right now is not the exact river, so it may work way better than what I'm showing you right now. Okay, so we continue moving the stop loss. Okay, stopped out right here. So that would be a profit of 493 pips. That's not too bad. Okay. So what other indicators can we use it with? We can try it. Okay, so I have a question from Ralph. Mic test. So Ralph asked, is this reliable on lower time frame, like 1 hour? Let's try. Okay, so in 1 hour, you have more wicks and sideways movement where price actually breaks out on the other side. So you see you can easily get stopped out. So for example, if you see this trend that it's going down already, you wouldn't enter because of all this white river in between. But when price finally came back up to give you a nice entry, it's not long before you get stopped out. So I think it would be better on bigger time frame. But if you want to go into a smaller time frame, maybe you can just change this. Let's try 40. 80. And 150. Okay, so this way you have less stopped outs and more, even though it's sideways, the big trend is still downwards because the gold is above the brown, which is above the blue, which is above the price. Okay, let's try it on gold. So this is how gold looks like right now in the 1 hour time frame. So we have a whole lot of consolidation around here. And then currently price just broke out of the lower area. So what we will wait for is a good entry. So we wait for price to come back up, to give it a little tap before dropping. So let me mix it with a Fibonacci retracement, and let's see what level is at the river so far. So we have our 50 right here. So we can wait for price to come back up here. Okay, before continuing the drop. So if right now price just decides to move away from this current area to drop even lower, then it's fine because I don't mind not taking the trade. And this, if price actually does this instead, come back up before dropping, I would have gotten a much better entry. Short position. So I can put my stop loss up here. So ideally, it should come back to the 61.8. As you can see, if I draw a line across the entire 61.8, look at how price reacted off again and again. Even before this last push was created. Okay, so this would be my ideal entry. And my stop loss, I'll put it right where the golden river is. And my target will be the last point where price has just reversed off of. Sell entry, take profit, and we have our stop loss. So if I open up another level of 78.6, let's see if it matches our river, golden river, right there. So here, we have our 78.6, as well as the golden river and previous price action. So if I pull out my stop loss, we can also see a lot of wicks where price pushes off this area. Okay, so this is gold for EK. Let me know if you guys have any other requests. You're welcome. Okay, let me try on US 30. Okay, right now in the hourly time frame, we can see it's a very strong bearish move. So what we should do is wait for it to come back into this zone before we take it for continuation. Okay, so if I use my Fibonacci tool retracement, take it from where the last point of high is down to where it reversed. I'm gonna open up all Fibonacci levels and see which one is most aligned with my reverse. Okay, so we have nearest to 38, 61, and 88. So what I'm gonna do is close all the other levels and just leave that tree there. Okay. Right, so we can draw out some zones here and here. So what we do now is we wait for price to come back anywhere around here, and 61.8 is my favorite level, so I would prefer if price come all the way here before pushing down more, bearish. So take profit will be right there. This will be a short position. Stop loss, take profit here. So this entire zone here, you look for reversals. So what we mean by that is you can use candlestick patterns. So one example that I can see right here is this 3 pinpoint pattern, something like a head and shoulder. So we have 1 point and then the next point of push and then a failure to reach back. So these are the candles. Okay. Let me erase all of that. So you can see 1, 2, and almost equal low. This is a reverse head and shoulder. So this is a sign for reversal. So when you're looking at our current market now, if price comes back up to this area and shows signs of the 3 pin pattern, my drawing is not that nice. So you get one higher point and then a lower point, and this will be a reversal pattern for you to take a short down. So right now the market is just in a very strong downward push. We will wait for a nicer area to get in for a short. All right, so we have come to the end of our webinar for today. In the next webinar, we will be talking about charting techniques. So thank you all for attending. Have fun with Avramis River. Test it out and trade safe. Thank you. Bye.